11 o'clock news. Today we're on the topic of the apocalypse. On December 8th, scientists declared the apocalypse true. In their report, they discussed the epidemic typhus. Typhus is a disease that is spread by bacteria, human contact, lice, and fleas. Typhus has already appeared in our history twice. Typhus should not be confused with the typhoid fever, a very less serious epidemic. Symptoms of typhus are rash, high fever, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding into the skin, delirium, and death, 10 to 60%. There are antibiotics for this disease, but unfortunately in today's time, the antibiotics are rare in the science community, and the scientists say that they will not have enough antibiotics for everybody who catches the disease in this apocalypse. Now to Rebecca to shed some light on this situation.
Yes, thank you, Mimi. I'm here reporting the sudden outburst of typhus. Typhus is a disease that is spread merely by human contact. Therefore, in order to survive, you must isolate yourself from all of humanity. Coming over here is a perfect example of where to begin your search of a shelter. It is high off ground and near a body of water. Earlier today, we interviewed an expert. She answered some very tough questions on how to physically survive this apocalypse. Let's take a look. I'm here with Miss Curry, the West Forsyth school nurse, and asking her a couple questions about the disease typhus.
If you were wanting to isolate yourself and make sure that you don't get this in contact with it, you want to make sure that you're in an enclosed environment that cannot allow any rats or anything to go over underneath the doors or windows or anything, so you'd want really wide tape so that your interior dwelling would be surrounded by tape, and then that you would have a large supply of like masks, because if you're like sweeping a rat infested feces area, the dust particles would come up.
I'm here with Miss Hudson from West Forsyth.
If you isolated yourself from the rest of the population because you were ill, then I would be very concerned about your treatment, because you have nobody taking care of you, you have nobody to interact with to get any proper care for the disease, and I would think that that could lead to maybe an earlier death or worsening of symptoms because you have nobody assisting you or helping you while you're ill.
Thank you, Rebecca, for doing that report for us.
My pleasure.
The scientists released a list of items that they found helpful during the apocalypse. The first item on our list are hygiene gloves. These gloves can be used to pick up any disease-stricken items that you might find in the wilderness, any dead animals that you might find and you need to remove from your site.
Make sure you dispose of them properly, or else whatever's on them might get into your system.
Right. The second thing on our list is tape. The tape is used to seal in any windows or doors to make sure the disease does not enter into your dwelling.
And you need lots and lots of that in case some breaks or whatever.
Yeah. The third item on our list are hygiene masks. Now these hygiene masks are very, very simple to use, very easy to dispose of, and very useful while you're isolated. You want to keep yourself as healthy as possible and away from anything that might be in the air that might cause the disease. The fourth item on our list is water. Now we recommend this large tub of water that you can get. The water will not get contaminated because it is in this plastic container and it doesn't have the screw.
Make sure you keep it off the floor as well.
Yes, right.
You don't want any contamination.
Right. The fifth item on our list is storable food. It's very easy to make and prepare. You could do it over a fire and it would be perfectly safe to eat. The cans are very, very secure. No disease will get into this can. The sixth item on our list is a clothesline. Now, a clothesline is a very thin string and it can be made out of anything and attached to a tree or any place. You do not want your clothes to be wet when you are trying to keep yourself as healthy as possible, because wet clothes can
cause sickness.
Yeah, it can cause a cold in the night. So it's very, very important that you keep your clothes as dry as possible. Now, soap.
Very, very important to keep healthy.
Yes. Skin, it can crack and it can easily become a scab where an infected wound can easily contract the disease. So, very nice soap you need to keep yourself clean.
Shampoos.
Shampoos are a big thing because of
For
lice.
hair.
So, soap, shampoo is a big thing. Alright, our next item on our list is a very small, portable first aid kit with a couple of band-aids and a couple of pills, such as like Pepto-Bismol pills and something in here just to keep in your pocket and to keep with you at all times, as well as a large first aid kit that could include cold medicine, Pepto-Bismol, any type of
Advil.
any type of over-the-counter medication that you can receive, as well as antibiotics that you can get to get rid of all symptoms of typhus disease. The next item on our list are lots of tea light candles or large candles. Now, we recommend candles more than we recommend flashlights because the candles will last longer and you will have more time with the light. Although it might be dimmer, it will last a lot longer and you never know how long you might be out there. The last item on our list is a very nice thick blanket that you can keep with you to form a bed and to have during winter nights and summer nights.
It does get chilly
Yeah.
at night.
And you could be on any terrain. You could be in the mountains. You could be, anywhere.
In forest.
Right. And so it can get cold at any time. So you want to make sure you have a nice thick blanket that has insulation and will keep you warm, and you know it will during any terrain and any season.
A pillow, but make sure you put plastic covering over it in case lice does infect that. So it's easy disposable and
Keep a
ready
lot of
to
plastic
go.
coverings with you.
For every kind of purpose.
Exactly.
Easy to dispose of a lot of things.
And that does it for the list that the scientists gave us. Pretty basic things that you can keep around, and it isn't too heavy to carry, right? It's very easy to travel around in case the area that you're living in does indeed get infected.
But you want to make sure that the area that you do live in doesn't contain a lot of animals because they
Right.
can become infected with the disease as well.
Right. Another thing the scientists noted was that you should never eat animals with fur on them, for they may contain lice or fleas that may be infected with
Yes.
the typhus disease.
I mean, you could get the disease like in air.
It's
like,
airborne as
right
well.
back and forth.
So it's very easy to get that, and that's why you need tape and you need all that stuff. Now, since we've briefed on the physical aspect of the apocalypse, it is time to talk about the mental aspect.
the hard part.
Right. Now, I did some research on the mental aspect. Throughout our society, isolation and loneliness have been depicted as a negative thing. Psychologists such as Dr. Morano has proved this to be true. In her article, Dangers of Loneliness, she says, over a long period of time, the body releases excess amounts of stress hormones, which causes people to go insane. And she says it tears away of our emotional well-being. This causes a lot of people to commit suicide and causes an early death.